Every day you wake up, you're walking into a battlefield, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. But what if there was a weapon you could use every morning that would shift your mindset, calm your fears, and ignite divine courage? Psalm 27 is not just poetry. It's strategy. It's armor. It's revelation. If you've been living in fear, confusion, or delay, today that changes. Let's dive into a word that will realign your entire day and your destiny. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? These words aren't just comforting. They are confrontational. This is not a question. It's a declaration of divine confidence. When you wake up in the morning and everything around you looks uncertain, when fear tries to whisper lies in your ear, this verse becomes your weapon. You see, fear only thrives in darkness, but light exposes, light reveals, light gives clarity. And when the Lord is your light, light exposes, light reveals, light gives clarity. And when the Lord is your light, no shadow can survive. Fear feeds on ignorance. Fear grows where truth is absent. But when the Lord becomes your salvation, your deliverance, your protector, your way of escape, fear loses its authority. That means no matter what threat comes your way, a bad diagnosis, an empty bank account, a broken relationship, you can stand in boldness and say, I will not be moved. Because light doesn't negotiate with darkness, it eliminates it. God's light is not passive, it activates purpose. It wakes you up in the morning with a reason to fight. It keeps your vision clear even when the storm clouds gather. It's the light that reminds you you were created on purpose for purpose. So the question is, whom shall you fear? The answer, no one. Not because you're strong in yourself, but because the one inside you is greater than whatever is standing in front of you. And here's the truth. Fear doesn't always show up with a loud roar. Sometimes it comes quietly, as hesitation, as doubt, as procrastination. But when you declare Psalm 27 every morning, you're telling fear, you don't belong here. You're inviting light into the places that used to be dark. And once the light enters, fear has no more hiding place. But it doesn't stop there, because it's not just about casting out fear. It's about learning how to wait without worry. Yes, the next revelation from this song is going to shake you even deeper, because strength is often found in stillness. Ready for that? Let's go there. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Now that right there isn't just advice, it's a command with a promise. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is warfare. Waiting is when your faith gets tested and your character gets proven. Most people don't fail in the fight. They fail in the wait. Because the delay feels like denial, but it's not. It's preparation. You see, the world teaches us that movement means progress, but the kingdom works different. In the kingdom, sometimes the greatest moves happen when you're standing still, trusting, believing, and refusing to settle. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to keep standing even when the answer hasn't come yet. So when God says, wait, he's not telling you to sit down and do nothing. He's telling you to stay ready, stay prepared, stay full of expectation. Because while you're waiting, he's working. While you're trusting, he's building. And what he's preparing for you is bigger than what you prayed for. But here's where the test comes in. Can you wait with a good heart? Can you wait without complaining? Can you wait while still worshiping? That's when your strength begins to rise. That's when you stop relying on your own emotions and start drawing power from the Spirit. God strengthens the heart of those who don't give up in the middle. That's why it says, He shall strengthen your heart, not your hands, not your legs, your heart. Because when your heart is strong, your hope stays alive. And when your hope is alive, your purpose stays lit. You don't quit in the waiting room because your breakthrough has already been scheduled. The enemy wants you tired. He wants you discouraged. He wants you to forfeit the promise because of the process. But not this time, not you. And as you're waiting, you're not wasting time. You're gaining power because courage is being built in silence. Strength is being forged in stillness. But what happens when the enemy doesn't stop? What if trouble rises again? Oh, there's a secret hidden in Psalm 27 about that too, and it's your key to unshakable victory. Let's unlock it next. When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell. That's not just poetic, that's prophetic. Because when you walk in the light of Psalm 27, your enemies can fall, but they will not flourish. They can rise, but they will not last. They can attack, but they cannot prevail. The moment they think they have you surrounded, God flips the script, and they stumble and fall. Notice something. This verse doesn't say if enemies rise. It says when, which means opposition is not optional. Attacks are not accidental. Enemies will come, but that's not the issue. The question is, what happens when they do? The answer? You don't panic. You don't retreat. You don't fold. Because when your confidence is in the Lord, the attack becomes an opportunity for God to display His power on your behalf. This is not about personal revenge. This is about divine justice. You don't have to fight dirty when you serve a God who fights for you. When the wicked came against you, they didn't just fail, they fell. That means their plan was reversed. Their trap didn't catch you, it caught them. That gossip didn't ruin your name. It revealed theirs. That betrayal didn't break you. It built you. Why? Because the Lord was your defender. But here's what makes this even more powerful. God didn't stop the attack from forming. He stopped it from succeeding. That means even in the heat of the battle, He was present. Even when you felt surrounded, you were never outnumbered. Even when it looked like you were losing, He was already writing your victory. And when He steps in, your enemies stumble. Not by your strength, not by your arguments, not by your reputation, but by His hand alone. Now listen. If He can make your enemies fall, imagine what happens when you start dwelling in His presence daily. Not visiting occasionally, not showing up when you're desperate, but dwelling, living in His house. There's a promise tied to that kind of lifestyle, and it holds the key to peace that cannot be shaken. Are you ready to go deeper? Let's keep going. One thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. Now listen, this right here is the center of it all. This is not about visiting God when it's convenient. This is about dwelling, living in His presence. It's a posture, it's a mindset, it's a lifestyle. When David said one thing, he was declaring focus, not distraction. He wasn't chasing many things, he was chasing one. And that one thing changed everything. Because when you dwell in God's presence, you stop reacting to the chaos around you. You stop being pulled by the noise of the world. You start walking in peace. Not just any peace, but perfect peace. You're not shaken by headlines. You're not broken by pressure. You're not consumed by fear. Why? Because the house of the Lord is not just a building. It's a covering. It's a refuge. It's a place where your identity is confirmed and your strength is renewed. This kind of dwelling is not passive. It's intentional. You seek it. You fight for it. You carve out space for it. It's when you wake up and say, God, before I check my phone, I check in with you. It's when you carry his word with you, not just on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday. That's when the supernatural becomes your natural. That's when wisdom flows in decisions, when clarity cuts through confusion, when favor surrounds you like a shield. But don't miss this part. David didn't just want to dwell. He wanted to behold the beauty of the Lord. That means he wasn't just seeking answers. He was seeking the presence. He didn't want a breakthrough more than he wanted the one who gives it. And when you prioritize presence over possessions, worship over worry, intimacy over information, peace becomes your portion. Joy becomes your strength. So the question is, what's your one thing? What are you really seeking after? Because when you seek first the kingdom, everything else begins to align. But it gets even deeper. Because once you dwell in his house, you'll begin to hear something calling from deep within. A divine invitation that changes your entire direction. Want to know what that is? It's time to unlock it now. When you said, seek my face, my heart said to you, your face, Lord, I will seek. Now that is not just obedience, it's alignment. Because when God calls, he doesn't speak to your schedule, he speaks to your spirit. He's not asking for your leftovers, he's calling for your attention. Seeking his face means pursuing his presence, not his hand. It's the difference between loving God for who he is and just chasing him for what he can give. This isn't surface level religion. This is heart level connection. When he says, seek my face, he's saying, look to me. Fix your eyes on me. Don't be distracted by the noise. Don't be pulled by fear. Don't chase after temporary things. And when your heart responds, when your spirit rises up and says, yes, Lord, something shifts. Because now your life isn't led by pressure, it's led by presence. God is not hiding, he's inviting. But the level of intimacy you experience depends on the depth of your pursuit. Some people seek when it's easy, others seek when they're desperate. But those who truly seek his face do it daily, diligently, passionately. Because they understand his face carries his favor. His face carries his direction. And when you lock eyes with him in the spirit, you no longer need validation from the world. But seeking his face also means turning away from other faces. The face of pride, the face of distraction, the face of fear. You cannot seek his face and serve your feelings. You cannot run after destiny while holding hands with compromise. So God says, seek me. Not once, not just when you're in crisis, but continually. And when you do, you'll find more than answers. You'll find identity. Your heart begins to reflect what you're focused on. And the more you seek his face, the more you become like him. That's how transformation happens. Not just through information, but through encounters. Real, raw, honest moments in his presence. That's when boldness rises. That's when clarity comes. That's when peace floods in. But there's something even greater. Because when you consistently seek his face, you're invited into a secret place, a place of confidence, a place the enemy can't access. Want to know where that place is? Don't stop here. Let's go deeper. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret place of his tabernacle he shall hide me. That right there is not escape. It's elevation. When you walk with God, trouble doesn't mean defeat. It means you're about to discover a place the enemy can't enter. A place where fear can't breathe. A place where anxiety has no authority. That place is called the secret place. It's not a building. It's not a room. It's a realm, a spiritual dimension where God covers you, shields you, and positions you above the battle. Not away from it, above it. While the storm is raging around you, you're seated in safety. While the enemy is shouting threats, you're listening to whispers of peace. While the world is panicking, you're anchored. Why? Because he didn't remove the trouble, he hid you in it. This secret place is for those who seek, not those who visit. It's a place reserved for those who choose his presence over panic. And here's what's powerful. When you're hidden in God, you're not invisible. You're protected. The enemy sees the situation, but he can't touch the assignment. He sees your name, but he can't alter your destiny. Because you are covered, hidden, guarded in a pavilion not made by hands, but built by intimacy, obedience, and faith. And it's not just about protection, it's about perspective. From the secret place, you don't see problems the same way. You see them through God's eyes. You realize what shook you before can't shake you now. What intimidated you yesterday no longer has power today. Because now you're not living from the ground, you're living from the glory. He hides you to prepare you. He covers you to promote you. And while others are distracted by the noise, you're receiving downloads from heaven, strategies, instructions, peace that doesn't make sense. That's what happens in the secret place. And that's why the enemy works overtime to keep you out of it. Because he knows once you access it, you're no longer fighting for victory, you're fighting from it. But that's not all. Because once you've been hidden, once your strength is renewed, you'll start to receive direction, divine steps, kingdom instruction. Want to know what happens when God starts teaching you his way? Get ready. We're going there next. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a smooth path because of my enemies. Now listen, this is the cry of someone who's done trying it their way. This is the heart of a person who understands direction from God is not optional, it's essential. Life without divine guidance is like driving through a storm with no headlights. You may move, but you'll crash. You may fight, but you'll lose. Because wisdom doesn't come from experience alone, it comes from instruction. When you ask God to teach you his way, you're not just asking for information. You're surrendering to transformation. You're saying, God, I don't want to make decisions based on pressure. I want to move based on purpose. You're not begging for shortcuts. You're asking for the right path. A path that may not be easy, but it's smooth. Not smooth because it's free of obstacles, but smooth because God already went before you. And look at why David asked for this guidance. Because of my enemies. That means direction is not just about destiny. It's about protection. God knows where the traps are. He knows who's for you and who's faking. He knows what door to walk through and which one to shut. And when you let him lead, he doesn't just guide your feet, he guards your future. But here's where it gets real. God can't teach a heart that's proud. He can't guide a soul that's too busy to listen. The question is not, is God speaking? The question is, are you positioned to hear? Because when you lean in, when you quiet the noise and open the Word, He starts to reveal divine strategies. And sometimes He'll take you the long way around, not to delay you, but to protect you. Every smooth path isn't fast, but it is safe. It builds your character. It protects your calling. And it leads you straight into favor you didn't even ask for. When God teaches you His way, confusion breaks, anxiety leaves, and clarity enters like a river. But once you're being led, once you've learned to follow, you'll start to see something shift around you. Even when things look dark, you'll begin to expect goodness. Because now, faith isn't just what you speak, it's what you see. And the next revelation, it'll open your eyes wider than ever. Let's step into it. I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That statement right there isn't just faith, it's survival, it's the confession of someone who's been through darkness, disappointment, delay, but made a decision to believe anyway. You see, believing is not passive. Believing is not wishful thinking. Believing is warfare. Because when everything around you says give up, belief stands up and says, hold on, I will see God's goodness. Sometimes you won't feel strong. Sometimes your emotions will lie. The facts won't look good. The doors won't open. The answers won't come. But faith doesn't live in what you see, it lives in what God said. And if He said you'll see His goodness, then don't pack your bags in the valley. Don't settle in the dry place. Don't make a home in hopelessness. Because goodness is coming. And it's coming while you're still alive. This verse doesn't say you'll see His goodness when you die. It says you'll see it in the land of the living. That means here. That means now. That means in this season. That means while the enemy is still watching, while your critics are still talking, while the odds are still against you. God says, I'm not finished. I still have something to show you. And your job is to believe. Because belief builds endurance. Belief strengthens your spiritual sight. Belief keeps you standing when others collapse. When you believe, you don't just survive trials, you overcome them. And, and the moment you decide to stop doubting and start declaring, the atmosphere around you shifts. Chains begin to break. Delays begin to move. Doors begin to open. Why? Because belief activates favor. It draws the goodness of God into your reality. So don't give up. Don't lose heart. Don't let the enemy convince you that this is the end. You were born for more. You were built to last. And what God has prepared for you is greater than anything you've lost. His goodness is not a maybe, it's a guarantee. And now that your faith has been stirred, now that your confidence has been recharged, it's time to wake up every day with new boldness, declare His word, walk in His light, and watch doors open, enemies fall, and favor flood your life. Because your season of seeing has just begun.